Hey, jambo everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is MGN Media. My name is Mark George Njoroge. If you're new to this channel, karibu sana. For those who have been coming back to watch my videos, thank you so very much. Shukran sana. For those who are watching me for the first time, this is the place you'll learn everything that you want to know about Washington State. Okay? Today I'm doing a video about CDL, Class A and Class B, and how to get an ID in Washington State. But before then, let me clarify something on the onset. I've been going through my comments and I've realized people are getting confused about Washington State and they are talking about Washington DC. For purposes of educating some of us, in the US we have some few states that share names. For instance, North Dakota and South Dakota, North Carolina, South Carolina, okay? Virginia and West Virginia. Those are states that share the same name. Washington, but most importantly, those states that I've mentioned, most of them are neighbors to each other. But for Washington State and Washington DC, one is in the East Coast, Washington DC, which stands for Washington District of Columbia. And I am in Washington State, the Northwest Pacific side of USA. We are bordering Canada on the Vancouver side. So, for purposes of clarity, there's there is a difference between Washington State and Washington DC. Washington State is where the first president of the US was born, George Washington. So, without any further ado, let me dig deep to what I've been saying about Seattle. Washington has so many opportunities, so it's a land of opportunities. If you want to come to the US, please consider coming to the evergreen state of Washington. So, for those who are looking for an ID, before I go to the CDL Class A and how to get it, if you want to get our state ID in Washington, it's very, very easy. For those when you walikuja na mnajijua how you came, na una ID, probably you have stayed somewhere in a state somewhere and you don't have an ID. This is how you get an ID in Washington. Number one, you need an address. So you need to have somebody who is in Washington to give you his address. Number two, you need to be on his utility bill, either gas, electricity, or any other like garbage or trash, whichever considering, or whichever company they use. So if you get those things without a social, you can get an ID without a social. You don't have to have a social in Washington State to have your ID. But if you have a social, well and good. But if you don't have, don't worry. Washington State is the place to be. So once you come here, go to DMV, they'll tell you to prove your address. So what do you need to prove your address? You need two forms of identification. So come with your passport or driver's license yako ya Kenya, one of those, or your birth certificate if you came with it, and then they'll tell you to prove your address. So that's when you'll chomoa your documents, zile za utility bills, show to them, and then you'll get your ID. Simple as that. Now, this is the juiciest part of this video tonight. My friend, have you had this desire of doing a CDL commercial driver's license, or driving a big truck, and you don't have a green card? You don't have, you are not a US citizen. Worry ye not. Why? Washington State, and I repeat, not you Washington DC, but Washington State where I am, wako na shortage ya drivers. There is shortages of drivers. So the government has changed its policies. For your information, every state has different policies on transportation, health, and others. So in Washington State, the governor and his council wameamua to bend some few rules so that they can accommodate those people who are immigrants, those who have work permits. So this is what you need to get a CDL if you are not a citizen. You need your work permit and social. Why? The work permit iko na that USCIS number, which is, they know how they do it in the DMV, na ina apply like your green card. So once you do that, go to DMV, book your practice permit test, and start driving. Simple and simple as that. So you just need your work permit, state ID of Washington. If you are out of state, please come change your ID to Washington State and go to any driving school with your work permit. You'll get your CDL, as simple as that. Why? There is shortages of drivers. I was checking the DMV website yesterday, and I realized there is a shortage in Washington State for CDL Class A. CDL Class A, 65,000 by yesterday. The whole of this year, they have lost 65,000 drivers in the whole of Washington. So they need drivers, so many drivers. So if you're out there, you need to make money, Washington State is the place to be. I'm in a place called Fife. Fife is an industrial town. Like right now, I'm in one of the warehouses around here. And as you can see behind me, so many trucks are passing by and they need drivers. Like that one, that's a huge truck passing by. That's a box truck. So why do you need to do CDL? CDL gives you the flexibility. The CPM, that is cents per mile, is very high in Seattle. You get your 40 hours. And then the good thing is nowadays it's electronic book file. So you don't have to write any form or anything. After your 8 hours, you stop, sleep. So there is no heavy duty. Hakuna kazi ngumu ngumu. It's simple and simple as that. So I repeat, if you want to get your CDL in Washington, Washington State is the only state in the US that you can get your CDL without a green card. How? Your work permit iko na USCIS number. 2, you need a Washington State driver's license. With those 2, you have qualified for a CDL in Washington. Just think about it. Think about it, my friend. So I don't know where you're from. I don't know state gani huko, but if you need to do a commercial driver's license in Washington, feel free, check it out. Do your research, but that's how it is. So brothers and sisters, wherever you are, by the way, the reason why you need to do a CDL, commercial driver's license, there are so many places you can get a job. Not only driving the huge trucks. We have buses, school buses. We have the Metrotrans buses. Like in King County, they have the Metro bus. In Pierce County, where I live, we have the PS Transit, shuttles, everything, and they are hiring day and night. So basically, you need to do your CDL as fast as possible. So I will always advocate for self-employment. This is the place to be. So yeah, I was just thinking about it. I read it up. I've come across those news and I realized, you know what? Let me share with you guys. So probably you're wondering, you're in Kenya. Can I do it or anything? Can I come with my qualifications? I'll do a research on that. But for those who are in the US, those who are in the peripheries of this country, feel free. Come on, my paper. Don't worry. Come to Washington and everything will be sorted, right? So as usual, this is MGN Media. My name is Mark George Njoroge. I thought of sharing those good news with you guys. Tell me what you think in the comment section. If you need any help, feel free to reach me on my comment section and I will respond to you guys. So yeah, shukran sana. I'm so excited with the news. Those are good news, in fact, good news. And yeah, I'm excited about it. That's why I decided to come and share it out with you guys. So thank you so much, and let's see what goes. So yep, bye bye, thank you.